late. I didn't realize we were that late. There's 11 thumbs already. The right way up, too. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Dylan Talks Tone, and this is our live Q&A that we do every week. Take questions from Patreon and questions from YouTube members, and I have some exciting news to update you on, as well as after 9 o'clock, we're going to just hang out and chat and, whatever we want to do. I want to move this light. This light's bugging me. And, yeah, so it's pretty cool. There. Cool. That was annoying me just a little bit. So,
it's really delayed.
We have some really, so speaking of delay, it is storming like crazy here right now. And it is because there is those storms all coming across the southeast. If you watch the national news today, they probably showed some clips of tornado-like activity that were actually on our news tonight. So, yeah, it's been pretty nutty. So, anyway, hopefully we don't lose power or internet or anything like that. You can put comments in the down below in the side chat thing over here. Put a bunch of question marks in front of it if you want to ask a question. We will try to get to all of them. Usually we don't. If you use a super chat, we will stop what we're doing and answer that question right away, obviously. And then we're going to get to our Patreon ones as well. So, news. First things first, y'all have been bugging me. And I want to say that the person who said, maybe in a super chat or something, on Philip McKnight's podcast on Friday, you should do a collab with Dylan. He told me that yesterday. He's like, somebody actually asked me about this yesterday, and I've been meaning to call you anyway. And then you messaged me, blah, blah, blah. Long and the short of it is, mostly long, that Philip McKnight and I have chatted and for extensive periods of time, and we're going to do a few things together, involving my pickups, involving his podcast, involving my podcast, and some other things. So just so you know, for everybody who has asked about that, that dude is, I always knew this anyway, but that dude's wicked cool. He is wicked cool, and he really knows what he's talking about. And so he really does. On the YouTube side, on the business side of the YouTube thing, and also on the how to fix a guitar side, obviously, because he's a guitar tech. But he's a really cool dude, and we had a great chat. And so those things will be happening. The other thing is we have some new merches on the internet that I want to show you, and these were sort of at your request. So that's not it. I came out with 2 shirts this week and 2 coffee cups. Well, I put them on coffee cups first, and then people ask for them on shirts. And calm down if you find this offensive. It's a joke. But we have the No Boomer Bends t-shirt. And for those of you that like Boomer Bends, we have the I Love Boomer Bends t-shirt. So those just came out, and they're also available on coffee mugs. Because somebody asked me the other day, hey, do you have any of your shirt designs on coffee mugs? And actually, they were asking for the I'd Tap That wooden one on a coffee mug. So I'm going to put that on a coffee mug too. And it would make sense because of the shape of it and stuff. It would work pretty good on a coffee mug. So there you go. There's a little merch plug for the evening. And I wanted to show you that and tell you about the other thing. And then the other thing is, please check out our teachable courses that are in the links below. And that's all the plugging of stuff that we are going to do for now. I just wanted to do that at the top, get it over with, and move along.
Are the mugs continental U.S. only?
I don't think so. I think we can ship those anywhere. Try to order one. Just try to order one, and if you'll know. Because it's a third-party company that does it. So And they have printeries and factories all over the world. And then what they do is they do it in the place that's closest to you. So, yeah. Topic. Thumbnail topic. For those of you that get on me for not talking about that soon enough.
People don't know what boomer bends are. They're like, I don't know what a boomer bend is, so I can know if I like them or not.
Boomer bend, like blues lawyer, So what that comes from is a Tim Henson from Polyphia thing, where he was on a Rick Beato podcast, and he was talking about how he doesn't do boomer bends because his style is more like that legato stuff where it's a lot faster, and it's, he doesn't do a lot of string bending. And he said in passing, I don't do boomer bends, because he's very young, he's 29. And it was really funny because, of course, Rick Beato and I think the dude from 5 Watt World was there, and a couple of people that are older than him laughed, and it was kind of a funny joke, and it blew up on the internet, and people were angry about it because making fun of, and all know how I feel about classic rock, like I could just take it or leave it at this point. And so I just thought it was really funny, and so I just put it on some shirts and some cups. So there's both sides of it. I love boomer bends and no boomer bends. So
Vinny's World says, think of the last phrase in the Stairway solo.
Exactly. And I know that Vinny will appreciate... Is he the one that asked about it?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Because Vinny will appreciate it because he, even though he is a lawyer, he is not a boomer bend guy because he likes metal and stuff. So we've had this conversation before, so I think it's funny. Anyway, what was I going to say? Something else important. Oh, yeah, the thumbnail. So let's chat about the thumbnail really quick. I posted that how much is too much because I want to know from you. We're going to go through the Patreon questions, but while we do that, I want you to be thinking about this and put it in the comments. PRS just came out with their, what is this thing called? The PRS Modern Eagle 5 that was used to be only for the private stock, but now they're making it in their normal core line. But it's a single hum guitar, and it has 17 pickup combinations, a couple of toggle switches, some push pulls. It does a bunch of stuff. So what I want to know from you is how much is too much when it comes to your guitar? Because I think, and I've had guitars with all these pushy-pulley, do all this stuff, and I don't use any of it. I built the guitar that way. I bought the guitar that way. I wanted it, and then I figured out that I never used any of it. And I just have this guitar for this sound, and this guitar for this sound, and this whole, do everything in one guitar thing isn't actually that practical when you're playing a song live. So, let me know what you think. How much is too much? Do you just want an Esquire with one pickup and a volume? Or do you want, a bunch of switchy stuff? Or somewhere in between? Get in the comments and answer that for me. We personally know a friend who has a private stock, one of these guitars. It's not actually a private stock. It was made for him by Paul Reed Smith years ago when he was playing with James Brown. And I've talked to him many times about this, and it has all those features, and he leaves it on the middle pickup with the volume on 10 at all times. Mm-hmm. Just the middle single coil pickup. And the guitar does all these things, and that's the only thing he uses. So, there's that sort of thing. So, let's go through some of these Patreon questions. I just saw the word Porsche, and I was like, oh. And while you're doing that, I'm going to pour a drink because I haven't done that yet. Go ahead.
Shane, I came across the Flying V that had not a neck break, but a neck crack in it. It seems sturdy, but you can see the crack line and feel it slightly through the finish. How serious is this type of damage? Would you pass over a guitar with this type of damage? This is the picture.
Yeah, I saw that picture, and I would say I would never buy anything like that because I don't want to deal with cracks. I think on that guitar, it's finished because it's a sparkle finish. It's like a bass boat sparkle finish because you guys can't see it, but It's a bass boat sparkle finish, and those finishes are really prone to cracking in that area. And so I would say it's probably okay, but don't quote me on it, because if the neck falls off, then I don't want it to be my fault. But I think it's probably okay. Yep.
Thanks for connecting the dots, because
Yeah, sometimes
I just got a random picture and I was like, I guess this is
I
for
didn't.
you?
Yeah, I didn't tell her. I didn't tell you that.
No.
I had seen it, but I didn't tell you.
Nope, had no clue. And then later, now I see where he like commented for my lab chat question. But that was like an hour and a half later that he told me why he sent me this random picture. So I had zero context.
Sometimes stuff takes a long time to get here from Japan.
Maybe. Pictures come faster than text. That doesn't seem right though. BC Rich, if a 500K pot is reading 475K, is that still within the acceptable range, or should I look at replacing?
Typically, 15 to 20% is not out of the range. I like to go 15 or less, and that's the pots that we buy. But typically 15 or 20%.
Super chat from Doc Siltonen. He says, hey y'all, hope the weather passes you by. By the way, Leslie, I'm wearing the same shirt. Sent Dylan a pic. Ha ha ha.
Uh-oh.
And he just sent me a Facebook message.
That's so funny.
Oh,
that's
wow.
pretty funny.
That's a good one. That was, I don't know, happening in real time
Doc.
here. Thanks for the super chat. I don't think I said that.
Doc,
because
and
I was
and
distracted.
anyone from Canada, it's like a red-green shirt. Anyway, keep going.
I have no idea what that means.
No, you do. You wouldn't know what that means.
Okay.
But they will.
Okay.
If they're from Canada.
Okay. Shane. Hello, guys. IA terminology question.
Oh, I have a terminology question, maybe?
I don't know. Have the term arch top come to include carved tops? My friend was saying only hollow and semi-hollow bodies can be arch tops, but BC Rich are advertising their Shredzilla Super Strat lines as having arch tops. They definitely won't be mistaken for semi-hollows. Are BC Rich mistaken, or is my friend overthinking it? Do weight-relieved strats have arched tops?
Okay, so this is interesting. So technically, I think the term arch top, if you really want to get fundamental about it, is a solid piece of wood that then has been carved into an arch like a violin. And that is, but that's not usually how like a 335 or something is made. Usually they bend them. So it'd be like a thin top that is arched. So an arch top guitar would be like a Gibson L5, something like that. Or a 335, but a 335 isn't technically an arch top because it has a beam going through the middle. Arch tops typically are also 100% hollow. Carved tops are like a Les Paul, where it's, in new parlance, I think they will call it like a drop top, where the sides fall away like this. I think Schecter calls it a drop top. Maybe some of those newer companies call it that. But basically, the carved top is where they carve a solid piece of wood that's an inch thick into a curve. So you have arch top on acoustics and electric acoustics that are completely hollow, and then you have carved tops on solid body guitars that have that curve in them, like a Les Paul. And then there's a sort of in-between thing where you have the thin line, where you have that arched top that's been bent, like a 335, but it has a beam going through the middle of it, and it's not a full hollow body. So if BC Rich is calling a solid body an arch top, it's possible that it has a curved top on it because it's got like a 335 thin wood top that is placed on top of a carved, weight-relieved, thin-line body. And so maybe they're sort of splitting the difference with that term marketing-wise. That's what I would think. But they probably wouldn't make it the same way because they wouldn't arch the top separately. They would probably press it onto the body, or maybe they would arch it separately. I don't know. It just depends how they make it. Interesting question.
All right. Another super chat.
Thank you, Ivan.
Van Shake Guitars, thank you for the super chat. As Red Green would say, if you can't do it,
That's so funny.
something it. And then somebody said, keep your stick on the ice. Was this the same joke you were making yesterday?
Yes.
Oh.
With the
that's
people
so
from
weird.
Buffalo. Yeah.
Okay.
We met some people from Buffalo yesterday.
So how did this come up 2 days in a row? What does the shirt have to do with it?
Because he wears a shirt that looks exactly like that.
Oh. Doc called it a Canadian tuxedo.
Oh, that's so funny.
Okay.
Man. I think there might be another one in there.
I thought so too, but I don't. All right, hang on.
Oh, that's great.
Another super chat. Doc Stiltonen, thank you for the super chat. If the girls
That's right.
don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy.
That's from that show too. I need to find some YouTube videos of that so you can be like, this is so stupid. She's not gonna like it. I'm just telling you.
That's how the conversation came up yesterday. Some
Yeah.
people were like really talking about how much they liked something, and he was like, you would hate it. People I didn't even know. I was like, thanks.
Yeah. I just know. Can you do not disturb that?
Yeah.
I just know that she would not like. For example, she does not like the Princess Bride movie. I give you permission to give her a hard time about that. Keep it nice. Don't be mean. But people that don't like that movie should be given a hard time about that because that is a fantastic movie.
Context for that. I mean, we're getting sidetracked now, but
Do we want to save this for after 9 o'clock?
we can.
Yes, let's save this for after.
Don't let me forget.
Let's save Princess Bride for after 9 o'clock. Okay.
Back on the program.
Keep going.
Then. Jeff, hey Dylan. One term I always hear concerning pedals or amps is clipping. What exactly does clipping mean?
So you have an audio signal and think of the basic sine wave. See, I should have a whiteboard. The basic sine wave, you know?
Windsurf Maui is here and just heard you say that.
Did he? So the basic sine wave that you normally have, right? Clipping, a clipping diode will actually take that sine wave and it'll cut the top of it off and square it off. And so you'll hear sawtooth, you'll hear square wave, you'll hear all these various terms for the shape of what that sine wave becomes once they cut the top of it off. That's how you do it with a pedal. You artificially do it with a piece of silicone, with a diode or a transistor. In a tube amp, it happens naturally. It's called compression because it reaches so you're taking a little sine wave, come from the guitar. The little sine wave comes from the guitar, it's super weak, right? 300 millivolts, goes through the tubes and does tube stuff, and the tube stuff makes the sine wave bigger in the preamp. And then it makes it so big, and then it goes into the power amp, and it makes it even bigger. Well, every amp, the more watts, the more room it has to do that before it can't do it anymore. Once it stops doing it more, it starts to distort or clip. And it naturally cuts the tops off. Then they call that natural compression of a tube amp because you've reached the limit that it can make it bigger until it just smashes it. That's the really simple layman's terms, but
Windsurf Maui said, yes, where's the whiteboard when we need it?
Exactly. I
they
knew he
were
was
here.
going to say something.
All right. Super chat. Super chat from Rick Bonneville. Thank you for the super chat. And he says, Leslie, read my last comment.
I didn't read it.
What?
I mean, we haven't seen it, right?
I mean, I've seen it, but he put in a super chat, so now we have to call it out. So, this is what he says. He says, Dylan and Leslie, I thought Leslie was going for 90s grunge look or had just watched the Lumberjack sketch from Monty Python. Also, don't do Monty Python.
No.
So, I probably did go through a 90s grunge phase.
100% she did.
I still love the music.
Yeah, we've had this conversation lately, like the quest for the perfect flannel, because flannels, they start to get like pilly. Didn't you have one? Is it this one?
They're all three the same. I hate this. I just had to button it up to even come in here because it's been unbuttoned all day, just as like a over.
And it's like they get pilly after a while.
It just doesn't keep its shape. It feels
and
frumpy.
it gets all frumpy and gross. Yeah, you got to spend a lot of money on a flannel, and then even then it doesn't. It's It's weird that flannels have become like bougie, but they have.
Maybe I'm just bougie, but I don't like
Maybe.
these flannels. But I already took my. If I still had the bags in the floor that I needed to take to donate, I probably would have already put them in it. But now I have to start a new bag. Mm-hmm. So it's
For
like a different commitment level, and I haven't made it yet.
I get it.
All right. Zoltan. I always think of the movie Big when I see that name, by the way, and I don't even think that's what it is.
So funny.
I have an Ibanez SA with an SAT Pro trim. Do you know of any life hack to tighten the drop-in trim arm without taking the block out of the body? The tightening screw is so oddly located that I can't even get the tiniest Allen wrench in there. Shall I have to disstring and dismount everything? Sounds very dramatic.
If any of you have this Ibanez, I'm thinking of you, Fat Philosopher. You might have something similar to this because aren't you an Ibanez ESP guy? Help him out with this. I can't think of any other way but doing it that way because of where it is. That's part of the problem. But if you have a better idea than me, get in the comments and help him with that. Because I think that's the only way I know, is to take it apart.
Yeah, and by the way, everybody is just in really big screaming at me letters just saying inconceivable. I knew you would appreciate that.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. That is so great.
All right. Rob, I'm restoring my dad's 50s vintage Regal Classical for my 12-year-old son.
Wow.
The wood strap button at the base of the guitar is loose and will not stay in place. What's the best way to secure it? Wood glue, silicone tape, CA other. What's CA?
CA glue, like super glue.
Oh.
So, it depends what state you're in. If you're in Georgia or South Carolina, you can't do this. But if you are in Colorado or California, you can do this. There is a certain fibrous stem of a plant, when mixed with super glue, that works better than anything else ever. And I've actually the person that just texted us a few minutes ago is the one that told me that, because I don't have experience with that particular stem of a plant, but he does, and he told me that it's the best way to do it, and he actually sent me some once to fix one, and it was awesome. Other than that, you could probably use take a toothpick, stick it in the hole, cut it off with Elmer's glue or wood glue, and then take another one, stick it in there, and like fill up the hole, let it all dry, and then put the screw back in. But it doesn't shape as well as a stem, is why. So, there you go. It just depends on what state you live in. Because some people don't have the same resources available to them.
Resources. Zoltan. Hi, Leslie and Dylan. What are the specific characteristics of the humbuckers in your Surprise PRS which cause them not to be tight enough for high gain chugging? Magnet, wind count, wire gauge, winding tension, size and shape, all of the above? That's a very specific question.
Which is really funny because you said this morning. You're like, you need to get specific with why you don't like this pickup in this guitar. It's no secret that I'm not a PRS humbucker fan. This is the closest to a PRS with humbuckers in it. What we're talking about is the McCarty 594 SE that I have up here. The reason I don't like it, and it's not, to me, not tight enough for high gain, and I can't fully answer this question yet until the review because I've not done the research. I played that guitar yesterday for that unboxing, and I have not plugged it in since because I've been very busy today and I have not had a chance to mess with it. So what we need to do is we need to measure the output of the pickups. I want to measure the inductance of the pickups, and I want to understand those statistics and measurements first before I answer this question. But what I will tell you, let's see if my assumption is correct. My assumption would be that the DC resistance is fairly low, like vintagey, fairly low. I would also say that there is a resistor and a capacitor across the leads of the tone pots for the spin a split. It's not a spin a split, but for their coil split deal, that's not very good. And I believe that the way these pickups are wound, whatever wire they're using, which I'm not going to know. I don't necessarily know. I don't know if I can keep this guitar. I might have to send it back to PRS. So I can't really take it all. I can't take it apart to the extent that I will take the pickups all apart. I would really love to, but I don't think I don't think I own it enough to be able to do that. But my guess is it's going to be really low output. I feel like it's probably big wire, like 42. I feel like there is probably big insulation on the wire, like it's thicker insulation on the wire, probably. And the neck humbucker doesn't have enough high-end sparkle to it, and I feel like the mid-range is a bit suppressed, so that when you I apologize, the mid-range is a bit kind of round, if you will. It's a weird thing to say. So then when you put gain on it, it just pokes out in all the wrong places, and it just makes it sort of woofy and gross. If I were to take the amp and really cut the mid-range out and turn up the highs, I could probably get it to sound okay, and I think you could, but there wouldn't be much flexibility in the guitar. However, I said this last night in the video, however you set the amp is how the guitar is gonna sound, and when you make changes with the knobs and stuff, it's not gonna be as flexible, in my opinion, at least right now with what I know. And I need to play it a little bit more to get into it further and do some measurements and understand what it's really doing before I can really answer that. But those are going to be
more to come.
My pre-guesses, and we'll see if I'm anywhere close on any of that when we actually do the review. I might backpedal on all of this once I actually learn about the pickups some more.
Cool. Super chat from Jono JF. Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you.
Happy to be here. And now my Epiphone ES 339 peghead popped off over the weekend. Arch top or not, it has all been refretted, split coils, upgraded tuning pegs. I got glue, project thoughts with new DAFs.
First of all, I know you just super chatted, so I'm not gonna bust your balls too much on this. If you have them, I don't know if this is I don't know, whatever. Anyway, did it pop off, or did you drop the guitar and it broke? Just keeping everybody real, because people give me a hard time about owning Gibsons. Is the peg head still on it? Well, yeah, because I haven't dropped it. I'm teasing. You don't have to answer the question. You don't have to answer that question. It's just a bit of a teasing. Yeah, I would put RDAFs in that guitar. That would be the jam. Once you get it fixed, make sure it fixes properly and it plays good and stays in tune before you spend any more money on my stuff. I wouldn't want you to waste money spend the money and then the guitar not be good. So get it repaired first. But yeah, DAFs would be killer in that guitar. They're my favorite in a Sheridan or a 335 or a 339 or whatever that other models of that are. That's my favorite, is DAFs.
Cool. Another super chat from Jim Woodard. Thank you for the super chat. Jim, still on the quest for no gear. 2 weeks down. Didn't even take delivery of the PRS DGT SE. Glad, because it's a great guitar, but I have what it does. Love the gear you have.
Thanks, man. Yeah, the DGT was an interesting one. So when I reached out to PRS, I originally asked for a DG. I literally sent a one-line email to her, and I was like, hey, can I get one of those? And she was like, you could, but I can't get it to you until the end of the month. And we have these other guitars coming out. And so I was like, ooh, give me one of them blue 594s. But I didn't know that that's what actually I was going to get. And then I watched John Bollinger's review on it, and I watched on the DGT guitar, and I watched Phil McKnight's, and I did not like the neck pickup in it at all. I didn't think it was good at all. And I really feel the same way about this, but I need to play it more to really get a good opinion. And I'm glad I got this one instead of that one.
Super chat from Trozinator. Thank you for the super chat. Bought one of your dog ear P90s to put in my Les Paul Jr. and I can't wait. Thank you, and I also appreciate the partial shipping refund.
Oh, that was you. Okay,
Yeah.
So when people order stuff from us, I get your real name. I don't always know who you are in YouTube because of the anonymity names and the. But thank you for that. Basically, what happened with his the other day, it was some fluky thing where he ordered a T-shirt too, which probably ships locally to him, and he ordered a sticker. I actually gave you a couple extras, a couple different ones, because we had some special edition ones left, so I threw those in your box too. Anyway, I refunded some of his shipping because
it was outrageous.
It was weird, yeah. Normally shipping to Canada is like $30. And somehow he paid like $76 for shipping. And
it was late. We got the notification and he was like, this is so weird. And he told me what the shipping was. And I was like, and he said it wasn't normal. And I was like, well, did they pay for it? I'm thinking I would pay for that.
Yeah.
For it? He was like, oh yeah, it's an order. And I was like, you should check on that.
Yeah, we'll check on that. So we refund. Yeah, anyway, gotta do the right thing. And thank you for the super chat too.
Let's see. I think I have more. Hang on. Super chat from Paul Needs. Thank you for the super chat, Paul. He said, look for at T Woodford for peg head repairs.
Excellent.
Recommendation.
That's good to know. Again, it's never happened to me, so I've never really thought much about it.
Thank you for sharing,
yeah.
Paul.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
We good?
Yeah.
So can we get to some of because folks have probably been saying stuff about what kind of guitars, how many buttons they like on their guitars. How much is too much? Have you caught any of those at all?
Yes, I've caught all kind of things, and they're going to be all mixed up. So John OJF said he dropped the guitar. It fell off the wall stand.
Oh, please don't tell me that.
The Hercules holder jammed and slammed.
I literally just hung my Les Paul up just to have it in the background for the video.
You better go put it on the good stand.
I know. Actually, it's the first time I've left it out of the case. It's been like going back in the case. I'm like yeah, that guitar's so awesome. That video comes out tomorrow. My review of the Les Paul and why I think it's worth every penny. So you're going to have to watch that one.
Charles Nader said, thank you for the extra stickers. I'm going to put them on my toolbox at work.
That is a good place for him.
Apparently this is a popular person. Van Shank Guitar says, Ted Woodford is booked solid for the next year and a half.
Wow. That's like our guy in North Carolina. He's the same. South Carolina. He's the same way.
So Lone Wolf Gray just popped in to say Phil McKnight rules.
He does.
And Jim Woodward said, Woodard. I always want to say Woodward.
Yeah.
Woodard says he does. Good guy. Dylan is a genuinely good dude as well.
Thanks, Jim.
Dylan who? I'm just kidding. All right. You ready?
Yep, let's do it.
I just have to find a place to stop. Because I have 32 things.
Yeah, we're at 8:35, so unless you use the super chat, I bet we will not get through those.
All right. Marcia Murray says, I'm bad about option paralysis, so a simple 2 pickup 3 position selector is good enough for me.
Same.
Sean McMillan, I just picked up a Gibson with Veritone. I find myself bypassing the Veritone and making minor adjustments using tone and volume.
That's really interesting, because that might be the one thing that I would like to experiment with.
Chris Hendricks says, I need a one pickup guitar again.
I have 3 of them, and I love all of them.
Jim Woodard says, give me a Les Paul Strat or Telly any day.
With no extra stuff. I'm assuming Jim's pretty traditional guy.
Natasha Ninks. I like quality built guitars. I want the best guitar that I can afford at the time. Bells and whistles don't mean as much to me as craftsmanship and pickup type.
Makes sense.
Chris Hendricks. Anymore, I find 1 or 2 tones I like and stick to them. The Paul's guitar and Modern Eagle have always been way overkill in my humble opinion.
I get that.
Paul Need says, I'd rather have different guitars. I'd forget where all the 17 tones were.
Dude, that's the problem.
Oh.
That's the problem.
Let's see. Derek C. I'm going to buy a new guitar tomorrow. Gonna play a bunch and see what I like, but I have no idea what to spend.
That's
Depends
fun.
on what you like.
That's really fun. Good place to be.
Sassy Cat says, hello, Dylan and Leslie. Dean Zelinsky makes a guitar with multiple pickup combinations and switchings.
Yep. And the Jimmy Page Les Paul is 21 tones, for example.
Wow. Natasha Nink says, the premise in question is in direct proportion to your income and discretionary spending budget. Value is in the eye of the beholder.
That's what I think. Except we're talking about features, but yes, we're going to talk more about money tomorrow in the Les Paul video.
Rusty Shackelford says, anything more than you know how to use or know what it's for is too much. Electronically, anyway.
That's
Cost
funny.
is too much only if I can't afford it.
I get it.
Let's see. These are questions. Timothy Potter, at my skill level, it isn't too hard to get too much. I like split pickups, but much more leaves me behind. I'm still trying to up my game.
Makes sense.
Eric Johnson said anything with more than 5-way switch or any push-pulls is too much.
Timothy Potter received his yellow RevStar today.
Oh, yeah?
Which reminds me, I want to put that feature of that high-low thing from the RevStar in a guitar. I really think that's neat.
Rusty Shackelford said, I would spend $5,000 plus for PRS or Fender Gibson Custom Shop if I had it.
I get that.
Rob F said, I spent $1,700 on my cabs. Each of the amps I really want will run me $3,000 each. The guitar I aspire to is $2,700 before your P90s. So I guess $3,000 per item is my current limit.
Oh, man.
I like how he did that backwards.
I
He was
did
like,
too.
well, this is where I'm going to go. So I guess this is where I'm at.
Yeah, I get that.
But it's good to know what you want.
He uses the word aspire in there.
I like that
And
too.
I like that too.
Also, I like that he said before your P90.
I like that also.
Just a lot of
I like that
assumption
too.
there.
Yeah. I like that too.
But Rob F. also said he had COVID. So,
Ugh.
hope you feel better, Rob.
Yeah, dude. For sure.
He's the one that has a bunch of kids. One of the kids brought COVID home.
Ah, that sucks.
Hopefully the kids don't have it, though. That's rough.
Well, obviously one of them does because they brought it home.
They could just be carriers. Kids are just carriers of
many things.
Bugs.
Of many bugs, yes. It's true.
Vinny's World says, I'm all for options. The more the better, as long as it doesn't compromise on the core functions. I can choose whether to use them or not.
Okay. That's kind of the way I'm with the PRS Fiore. It's got 2 sounds on it that are not conventional that I really like. I don't use them very often, but I think it's neat to have them. It's kind of where I'm at on it.
Charles Wallace says, so I must have missed the context, so you might get it better than me. As much as possible, but I usually change it up a fair amount so I don't play the same thing when a song lasts for 5 or 10 minutes.
Oh, that's interesting. Yep. just within the song.
Oh, Rob said he's okay, but his wife must be sick too.
Ah,
It's his beautiful wife that he's worried about.
bummer, man.
Well, I hope y'all feel better.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Rob F says, I save my hobby allowance from each paycheck until I have enough for the item I want. Sometimes it takes a good part of the year, but the anticipation can be fun.
That's cool. Good way to do it.
All right. Paul Need says, even the telly has one pickup too many.
That's awesome.
Jim Woodard says, yeah, too many tones equals too many options for many of us. Some people like that, and you should do what you love.
I'm that way with amps. If the amp has too much stuff in it, I'm going to use 2 sounds in an amp, and that's it. So that's where I'm, I'm very simple when it comes to that stuff.
Jim Woodard said, I love my Les Paul Slash as well. Can't argue with you about that
Dude,
one.
that guitar is
I
so
love my 50
good.
standard and my custom as well. Okay, I love my Les Paul guitars. LOL.
I'm not done. I want another one. I get it now. I get why people like them. I don't want to get too much into what we're going to talk about in the video tomorrow, but a real one is the way to go. For real. It is the way to go. I didn't even know. Like I know now. It's the way to go.
That's because of the neck thing, though, right? Like, you would pick it up and be like, eh.
The finish, the everything. I don't know. It's just the overall. What does Chris at Texas Toast talk about? The overall playing experience. It's just next level, man. And it's good. And same thing with these PRS things. Even my core PRSs versus this SE that I have, there is a difference between those guitars. That they cost twice as much, but they are better. I don't know. It's player experience. That is a great word, a great phrase. I like that.
Ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Moving on. Why not get an Epiphone Slash to compare them? Do they make an Epiphone Slash?
They do.
Huh.
We may.
All right. Here we go. Moving on to questions. All right. Windsurf Maui says, Dylan, I saw you bought the Gibson Les Paul. Does that mean the Porsche is on hold? Les Pauls cost almost as much as a Porsche.
They don't cost almost as much as a Porsche. The Porsche is on hold because... So remember, we'll talk about this after 9 o'clock because I have a whole rant about that. And it is on hold, but I'll tell you why in a few minutes. So
is that after hours?
Yeah, that's an after hours thing because it's not about guitars. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Timothy Potter says, oh, okay, I'm doing this wrong. Just kidding. One moment, please. Timothy Potter, thank you for the super chat. He says, yes, I did. It's sitting here on my lap, making me quite happy. The color rocks, and I can't wait to plug it in. Your pickups always flip my switch. I'll let you know how it sounds. You guys rock.
That guitar is so fun.
It's so good.
It's the best $500 guitar on the market today, in my opinion. Yeah. It just is. It's so good.
Yeah. Can't wait to hear what he thinks about it.
I know.
That sounds fun. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. Jim Woodard says, is it 9 yet? I want to talk about cars. All right.
I'm bitter about it, so.
You ain't bitter. Hush. Tim Ziegler says, I'm looking for a retail source for I don't know how you say this, like quad A or master grade curly maple in timber form, not pre-cut kit type.
Yeah. Oh, so Dan and Calvin at Tone Wood Experts.
Cool. T-Bone says, good evening, Dylan and Leslie. Dylan, I'm assuming they want one. What's a 5-watt tube amp?
My favorite 5-watt tube amp would probably be a Champ. or a Marshall Class 5. Either of those two. Or both.
If y'all have any other recommendations for T-Bone.
Yeah. And I know there's a bunch of cheap Chinese junk, but I'm saying, like, if you want to get good, like a good core sound that you could have forever, a Fender Champ, or a Marshall Class 5.
Chris Hendricks wants to know, $9,000 Strat build or ultimate guitar building experience with Dylan?
$9,000 Strat build.
Ooh.
That is going to be, well, I know.
There's only one spot left, though.
Dude, you need to grab it. Dude, it's so fun. It's
going to be next level experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's going to be so cool. And the guitar is going to be so good. I mean, they're always good. But that guitar is going to be so good. You are going to have a custom shop level guitar. It's going to be good. I'm really impressed. I've talked to Matt a bunch kind of about all the behind the scenes stuff and how we're trying to pull it all off and all that. And, you know, we've had many conversations that have not been on the internet. And I will tell you, I hope they do it again. I told him it needs to become a thing. Because it's sold out so fast and it's so good. It's going to be so good.
Super chat. Wow, what was that word? Super chat from Doc Siltonen. Thank you for the super chat. You might have answered this already, but can I use an 8-hole keeper bar for a P90, or does it have to be a 10-hole?
Has to be a 10-hole. Because you have to have the 6 for the strings, the 2 for the base plate to go from the bottom, and the 2 to come from the screws down through the pickup to mount the guitar to the body. You can use an 8-hole for dog ears, but you have to use a 10-hole for soap bars.
Cool. I feel like I'm slow tonight because the chat is just like...
Well, that's awesome. I love the fact that it's like this. It's so fun.
Miss stuff, but
I might have to go get something to plug this junk in.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
We might have to do that. Let me see if I keep going, and I'm going to grab a cord.
How am I going to keep going if you're not here? I'm asking you questions.
No, it's right here.
Oh. Paul Need says, I think we see too many videos about expensive guitars, which is funny because Matt's video was like the opposite today.
I agree with Matt. I am really kind of... Hang on, I want to do this question justice. Ask another one, and then we'll come back to that one.
All right. Eddie Quinones he says, filing Strat nut slots. Does it matter whether I measure clearance while the bridge is decked floating, or is the difference negligible?
Wait.
I usually deck, but vary it up sometimes.
Measuring Strat nut slots. If you, the right way to do it, I'm going to do a video on this coming up soon. But the right way to do it is to actually fret the 3rd fret and measure it under the 1st fret and just not let any light through. That's the right budget way to do it. Don't worry about the action on the guitar. Fret the 3rd fret, hold it down. We have a class coming out about this. It's our next class that we're about to do. If you have not gotten the neck relief class in the link below, you need to get it, because then we're going to get the nut one. We're going to go all through the whole guitar setup thing. Yeah.
Super chat from Scott Dreyfus. Thanks for the super chat, Scott. He says, is a Gibson LP tribute worth the stretch over Epiphone?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, and people are chiming in to share theirs. Jim Woodard would know.
Yeah, absolutely it is. I used to have one. It was, but it was a Stratosphere thing. I bought the shell, so I can't say that I actually bought one, the Les Paul. But okay, so let's get back to this.
Expensive guitar.
Tired of expensive guitar reviews. Here's the thing. It's really important That's why I liked when somebody earlier, and I apologize, I forget who, used the word aspiration. Rob, there is a thing about playing guitar. We should be inspired by this. This is not about, and I know that budget plays into it. But let me say this, and I don't want to go down this entire,
Just gonna say it.
yes, I don't want to go down this entire rabbit hole of all these off-brand guitars, okay? Take all the off-brand guitars out of it. I mean, the Harley Benton, the Sire, all that stuff. Just take that all out of it. Stick with the big brands. Gibson, Fender, PRS, and Ibanez. Let's just stick with those for now. They all have ranges that are real quality instruments that start from $300, and we could argue about Fender right now, but they'll get it together. These guys always do. PRS not so much. They start in the $800 range. But you can find from a reputable brand a budget instrument that will be good, that you do not have to watch a review about. That you don't have to be like, is this guitar any good? You can go buy an Epiphone anything and it's going to be good. For the price point that it's at, for the intended person that it is. If you're trying to buy a cheap guitar on purpose because you don't want to spend a lot of money, that's a different story. But if you look at who the guitar is intended for, an Epiphone, a $500 Epiphone Les Paul, because they have them, they're good. They're actually pretty good. Are they? And you don't compare them. The thing about people that blows my mind is they compare too much. Is the $500 a good guitar? A good $500 guitar? Yes. Is it as good as a $1,200 guitar? No. It's not. It's not meant to be. It's not supposed to be. It won't be. Don't make that argument. It's not fair to the guitar. It's not fair to anything. You don't have to worry about how good a guitar is. In 2023, all the major brands make good instruments. They do. If you get a bad one, return it and get another one, and it will be good. So you could get a lemon, but they all make good guitars. The reason I'm harping on this so much is because I'm going to make a video about a $3,200 Les Paul tomorrow. And I don't want to get too much into the details of it because it's really an important video for me and for you to hear. But the bottom line is, without those things to aspire to, there's no reason to buy an Epiphone. There's no reason to do any of it. There's no reason to buy a cheaper one, then get a next one, then get a next one, then get a next one. There's no reason to do any of it if there's nothing to aspire to. And there's no reason to compare an expensive guitar to a cheap guitar because they're not going to be the same. They're not supposed to be. Get the best guitar you can afford from a reputable brand. Do not be a cheap ass and get one of these $200 knockoff things, because that will buy you a headache in one way or another. Me and Phil talked about this a lot yesterday. Buy from a reputable brand, and you are buying into their program. You're buying into the aspirational program of a cheap Epiphone to a better Epiphone to a Gibson tribute, then to a studio, then to a classic, then to a standard, then to a custom. Same thing with the SE to the S2 to the core models. The Ibanez, I'm not familiar with the Ibanez, but I know they start with a $299 guitar right there that's pretty halfway friggin' decent, all the way up to however much their custom shop stuff is. You buy into their program, you enjoy their brand, and you continue to aspire to the next one, and you dream, and you have fun, and you play music, and you do not compare. And you don't have to compare as long as you get into the program of a reputable brand and you avoid all this other garbage that's out there that everybody's like, well, this $200 guitar is just as good as this. No, it's not. So you just get into that program and you enjoy the guitar. Enjoy whatever you paid for it. Like that Revstar for $500, that guitar is not as good as a Les Paul. It's not a Les Paul replacement. It's not a PRS replacement. It's not as good as a DGT SE because it has 2 humbuckers in it and a 3-way switch. It's not as good as those guitars. But it's the best $500 guitar there is. Let it be that. So, expensive review versus cheap review, you don't have to worry about that as long as you stay with a good brand. Just buy the nicest color, the best guitar you can afford in the cool color with the cool thing. And if you get a lemon, send it back and get a new one. Okay, rant over. I really feel really passionate about that because it just changes everything for people if they just stop doing that.
All right, we only have 5 minutes left.
Okay.
Hawkman Hawks, does Slant 6 humbucker have regular PAF or above output?
Regular PAF output, half the magnet.
Martian Murray, anyone familiar with the DGT trim? Is it better than other similar trims?
It is the same trim. It's the same 2-post. I think it's 2-post, right? It's the same trim with steel saddles in it that are in a bunch of other PRSs.
Rick Bonneville said, "Hey group, should I buy some Bonneville pickups?"
Yes, you should.
It's your name. Why not?
That's pretty cool.
He also says, "What do you think of Casino Guitar's new campaign?"
I didn't see it.
I looked at their page because I don't know what he's talking about either. I looked at their YouTube and it looks like they maybe they're leading with a negative, like a controversial.
Oh, I've been watching their videos. I've been seeing what they're doing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that there was a specific campaign.
I don't know if that's what he means or not.
I think the videos are great, and I love those guys, and I love the conversation they had the other day about how to get banned from a guitar store. And you can know that no matter what the thumbnail says, it's going to be a fun video, and they have valid, experienced, nuanced points about everything, and they are not offensive to people. They're great guys.
Super chat from
Keith H.
It just says Keith H.
Thanks, Keith.
Thank you for the super chat.
I appreciate it.
I will try to be on the lookout if you had something that you wanted to send with your super chat. I think that's the first time I've seen your name tonight, though. Just making sure didn't send anything of that. Okay. Lone Wolf Gray. Dylan, do you have a method when dialing in your electrics controls?
I don't know what that means. I do have a method. If you mean like how do I set my guitar for a particular sound, I'm going to do a video on this. Because speaking of negative campaigns that are not negative.
That's not what they're talking about, by the way, so don't say that.
Okay.
Keep going. What do you need to talk about?
Well, I was just going to say there are terms that guitar players use that don't really make sense if we really understand. And one of them is, can you give me the settings that you have on your amp? Can you give me the settings you have on your pedal? What settings are you using? It doesn't make any sense. And there's a really good reason why, and I want to do a video about it because I think it would be very helpful. And that's what I thought he was talking about.
All right, let me out of order here. Super chat from Rusty Fenders. Thank you for the super chat. I cannot talk anymore. He says wine money.
Thank you.
Not WHINE, like not permission to wine.
Right.
Permission to drink wine.
I'm not gonna whine.
I will not whine about wine.
Thank you, Rusty.
Okay, so apparently Casino Guitars is offering levels of membership, and they have exclusive membership perks, and they have 4 membership levels for extra content.
We do that too.
Yeah. I don't think they're on Patreon, right? So they're probably just using YouTube
They're
to do
using
that.
YouTube. We have that too. You can hit the little join button.
Yeah. So.
Yep. That's how you get your questions featured on the screen if you're not a member. Or if you don't use a super
If
chat.
you're not a member.
When we say we're going to Patreon, you can use the little ones over the join button down there too. So you can join YouTube or Patreon, get you the same exact thing.
Yes.
We also have monthly hangouts the fourth Monday of every month on Zoom.
Super chat from Doc Siltonen. Thank you for the super chat, Doc. He says, for me, I aspire to make better instruments. To make instruments that somebody would one day aspire to own. That's the fizz for me. Deeper down the rabbit hole we go.
Well, you make a pretty dang good instrument already,
Yes.
dude. I happen to know that.
He aspires to play it regularly.
I do.
I like that people are using the word aspire.
Yeah, it's a good word.
And then fizz.
That's a James
Bring
May.
the fizz.
That's a James May thing.
Yeah, but I heard Matt say it, so. Cool. It's 9 o'clock.
Okay.
I know I missed 12 plus things, but
Well, that's how it
what
goes.
happens. It was a lot of super chats tonight. That was really fun.
Yeah, thank you.
guys.
So, here's how this works. We only talk about off-topic stuff after 9 o'clock. For those of you that are just showing up and think we're going to talk about guitars, we can do that. But guitar questions after 9 o'clock have to be a super chat. Otherwise, we will ignore them. If you missed and you want to ask a question, you can do a couple of things. You can join Patreon or YouTube, the join button down there. And every week I will post where you can ask a question to be featured on the screen at the beginning of the show, so we guarantee you that it gets shown. Or you can use a super chat before 9 o'clock or after 9 o'clock to ask a guitar question. One more guitar thing.
No.
I got a new strap, though, for my Les Paul. Like, I got a new rock and rolly strap. And then you can, like, put stuff in it. Anyway, cool. It's by Anthology Straps. And I just got it today, or yesterday. And it's really cool. Put strap locks on it so I don't drop it. Anyway, just had to show you that.
I found him. You're welcome.
Yeah, Leslie's the one that... I was looking for something cool and new. I was actually going to buy the strap that Slash uses, but then she found that one. Okay, so 2 things we need to talk about right off the bat is the reason I'm not buying a Porsche. I also told you last week that we were going... because we really wanted a SUV. Real bad. Like, we really enjoy having an SUV. And this Honda Accord thing, I love it. It's cool. It's a great car. It gets great gas mileage. But it's just kind of poke yourself with a stick in the eye to drive. It's just not fun. And so we were going to buy another SUV. So we went and test drove. Super chat.
Super chat from Doug Santaniello. He said, thank you for the super chat, Doug. He says, sorry, but that last spot for the 9000 Strat has been taken.
Excellent, Chris.
It looks like it's still on the website, but...
Yeah, well, if he did it, then it's done. Because
Doug did it?
If Doug did it, it's done. Yeah.
I hope I see somebody I know. Like,
yeah.
I'll be there that time. That's the August one, right?
That's the August one, yeah. So we went... We know pretty definitively, well, really definitively, that we want to buy a Lexus GX 460, which is basically the Lexus version of a Toyota 4Runner, but it has a V8 in it. Because we had a 4Runner before, we had a Tundra before, we really like a Toyota V8, we really like the 4Runner, but I don't like a 4Runner because it's too slow. And so we said, well, let's get a GX 460. So we went and test drove one, we really liked it, and I was going to buy it. I was this close to buying it. We were doing the deal, and the guy came back, and he's like, here's the problem. They just posted the interest rates for January, and the used car interest rate on this car is 12.4%. And I was like, hold the phone. Because no matter how good a deal the car is, that money is too expensive to be smart. Because I own my current car at like 4.5. So I was like, this is dumb. Even if I want the car, even if you can afford the car, even if it just doesn't make sense to purchase, because it was used. That was my used one. To purchase this car because the interest rates were so high. So we decided not to do that. And by extension, holding off on a Boxster because I would run into the same problem. with the year range of car that I was going to buy, we would run into an interest rate issue right now because I wasn't going to pay cash for an old car. I have a flipping regimen that I'm on that makes it to where it works for me. And so the numbers just weren't right. And the numbers are not right in general right now. So we're just holding. I would love to buy a Boxster right now. In fact, I really want to, but it just doesn't seem smart. So there you go. Second thing.
I was going to say that's one. I don't know what the list is. You
Princess
just said
Bride.
two. Oh, we have to go there?
Princess Bride.
Okay. Some people said some things too.
Okay.
Well, I'll go ahead and say what, because it was Chris Hendricks. What did he say? Oh, I'm in the wrong screen. Hang on. Let me get back to the bottom. And then I have to flip over. Because what he said was fun. Oh, Chris Hendricks said, wow, tragic. The lack of good trash TV and movies in that home.
Oh, we have plenty of that. I don't necessarily know that we talk about it.
Okay, so I have a theory similar to music. I think there are...
Leslie rant time.
It's not a rant. I just think this is what it is. It is what it is for me. If you didn't see what some people call like classic movies and that are super funny and that they love, that are like comforting to them, you know, like
the cult classic movies.
Yeah, I think if you didn't see them when they came out at whatever age, whenever that was, like to be there in that moment when it was relevant, then you like. Now you can continue to appreciate. But if you didn't see it then, I don't think you can appreciate it later. And I think that is my problem with some things like that.
Okay.
Because I didn't see them originally. So to the point about like missing a lot of... I did miss a lot of things. Because... I mean, when did that movie come out?
I don't know. I'll look it up. Go ahead.
Whenever that movie came out.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I think I've mentioned this before. But I have a sister that's significantly younger than me. And then I had children. So from 1990 to 2020, I had kids the whole time. Like, I don't know anything that was not animated.
So this came out in 1987.
So it's older than me then.
It's older than you, and you're right.
I mean, not older than me, but I wouldn't have watched it at that age.
Right. And at the age that you would have watched it, you're right. You would have already been on to kid movies. Because, I mean, you'd be like adulting kid movies at that point because of your... Yeah, because of your time frame with your sister and your own children. I get that. It does make sense. So now you have no...
But I tried to watch it, and it was... real dumb. but on the flip side, what's the dumb movie we saw with the kids where he's singing in the waterfall? Agony.
Oh my god.
That is the dumbest movie, but it was
I hate that movie.
Funny because of the kids' like reaction to it. It was like an experience. It wasn't a great movie.
It's true, and I would imagine even as adults, if we were to walk through the grocery store right now and something were to trigger them as adults, they would still bust out in that song in the
they get it honest.
Ice cream aisle. Yeah, for sure. It's true. I get that. Okay. That makes sense.
Somebody said Princess Bride is a kid's movie. I don't think it is. It has a lot of undertone.
Innuendo kind of stuff, and it's not a kid's movie.
Yeah. In 87, I was barely in school. That would have not been appropriate.
No, it's true. It's true.
Okay.
More questions.
What did you want to say about movies? Or is that...
No, that was... I just wanted to hear your... because you're probably right. It's the same thing with music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alan Pettibone wants to know, do you have a gravity knife? If so, what do you recommend?
I do not have a gravity knife.
Is that a brand? He says gravity knife. That's a thing, right? That's an action.
The gravity is the...
I thought you had one. Is that the one you lost?
No, gravity is where you pinch them apart and the blade slides out the front.
Oh, I thought it was the floppy one.
No. That's actually just like a... That's actually just like a button lock. So like the only gravity. So this one is a button lock with no spring. This is a Civivi Elementum with carbon fiber. And so but this is but a gravity knife is, and then I have a Medford Smooth Criminal. That's also gravity. But these aren't actually gravity knives. The way a gravity knife works is it's two pieces of metal that slide apart this way, like scissors. And then when you hold it the knife slides out. And then when you hold the knife together, the scissory part together, the knife can't slide back in. And then you like kick it apart and it slides back in.
That sounds
it goes chink,
like dangerous.
chink. It is. It's not dangerous. It's just not the safest or most efficient open.
Yeah.
But they are very fast. They can be. Like you get a skill to it.
You have to get a practice, yeah.
And they're illegal in some states. They're illegal here, but I just have never. I've never gotten one.
Martian Murray says Dumb and Dumber is a favorite for me. I want an orange tux.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Jim Woodard said, I was 23. I found it hilarious. I had no kids. I found it stupid but classic funny. He was great in Robin Hood Men in Tights.
And is this why you also don't like... Yes, Robin Hood Men in Tights was fantastic. Is this why you also don't like Monty Python? Because we mentioned Monty Python earlier.
I don't... Okay, so Monty Python is different. I will be totally honest. I actually know zero about it, except what the premise is, because, you know, I've joked about that. But that was... When did that come out?
Way old.
Okay, so my sister likes old movies. And that is her and my dad's humor. So I just did not get involved in that, because they are, like, characters when they're together.
1975.
Yeah, and I just didn't get into that.
I get that.
So
I get that.
I actually don't know. But yeah, that's obviously older than me.
It's just a thing you never did, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not actually a big TV or movie person.
No. She'll get, like, on a series and want to watch...
I like characters.
Yeah, and want to watch all the episodes of a series every once in a while.
Deeply developed characters.
But not dumb series.
No.
So when people are constantly like, hey, have you watched the latest whatever? And we're like, nope. You know, so.
Yeah. Anyway, that's funny.
Anyway.
Marcia Murray said, how about a Cayenne? I know nothing about them, but they look fast.
I had thought about a Cayenne, but we want a more serious off-roader, so the Lexus makes more sense. Yep.
Yeah, everybody's just
and the lack
jokes
of maintenance.
As you wish.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I know I've heard all the jokes, and so I thought I would like the movie, but when I saw the movie, I was like, I should have just left it as
That's
a joke.
so funny. I love it.
Now it just feels aggravating. Blazing Saddles is the best comedy ever. Changed my mind. That is one of my dad's favorite movies.
I'm not a fan. Don't care. Yeah, I don't care.
That's funny. All right, let me get back to some of the things I grabbed. Jason Albert said the stash pocket is for cashews if you get hungry while gigging.
Exactly right. Cashews.
That's very specific. Not like a snack. It's for cashews.
Right.
Doc says Eddie Bauer or Patagonia make the best flannel. Good to know. Ask somebody where it's cold, right?
Cool.
That wasn't a shirt, was it?
My cool flannel is.
Oh, we couldn't find another. I'm thinking of the one you looked at the store, but you didn't like it. But you do have.
Oh, that
one.
Howler Brothers one was cool too. But the cool KUHL.
I
It's
don't
my
think
favorite.
They don't make women's clothes,
I don't
do they?
think so either. My favorite off-road brand, and I really, really like them. But they only had one color, so I got it. That was it.
Who?
Cool.
They're an off-road brand?
Well, at Half Moon, though, they only have, that's what I call it. Hikey pants and stuff.
Hikey pants. Anyway. Scott Dreyfus says, guitars are done. Girls, golf, guns, and gravity.
Girls, golf guns, and gravity. I don't care so much about golf. Only
Doc
a couple
says,
times a year.
is the strap fine Corinthian leather?
I don't know what it is. It's pretty gnarly though. It's pretty heavy duty, and it's padded, and it's double, and it's got rivets, and it's sewn really well. It's really nice.
Paul Need says, for the later Porsche thing as an aside, what does a gallon of premium gas for that cost there right now? Premium.
Well, let me look. I have Gas Buddy, and I can tell you what it is.
It went up here. We had like
It
a
went
gas.
back down again today, though.
Really?
Yeah.
We had a gas like a tax relief thing, and then it expired. So then gas prices went up yesterday, and you're saying they went back down today?
Yeah, they were like, all right, so premium.
But we typically have very low gas compared to the country.
The rest of
way.
the country, yeah.
Not lower than South Carolina, though, which is right across the river.
We are $3.29 a gallon for premium, and I paid $2.75 for regular.
Today?
Yeah, I didn't pay it today. I saw it today. I paid $2.79 yesterday or the day before.
But yesterday morning it was still low, and it.
No, it was $2.75 today.
Yeah.
And that was in Carolina.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was at Greg's Gas Plus in Carolina this morning. It was $2.75.
How exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Woodard said, Scott, I'm in on the guns. I don't know girls. I've been married since 85, and I'm afraid of jumping out of planes. Did that in the service. Been married since 85. That's cool. Not me. That's good. It'd be weird.
That'd be weird.
All right. Martian Murray said we jumped to 3 for regular today. Where are you at, Martian Murray? Scott Dreyfus says Thursday is the most expensive day to buy gas. I didn't know there were trends in gas prices. Did you?
I didn't either. Mm-mm.
That is very interesting. I just get it when I need it.
Me too.
I mean, I gotta pay for it. No, actually, I can't tell you the last time I pumped gas. The last time I pumped gas was in the Jeep because you had to put gas in the motorhome. For some reason, we were like not together or something.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
That's been a long time.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't get gas. Just kidding. But that's one of those things. Like, you have to buy it. I mean, I think about that when we go shopping. Like, I go ahead and like run my card so I don't have to wait. Like, once I gotta buy it anyway. It doesn't matter what the total is. Like, let's just go. I don't know.
If it means you can't go as far because you're broke, that's one thing, but you still have to buy it when it gets empty.
I mean, I've been staying home a lot, though.
Yeah, we have. That's true. A lot more than normal for us, really, but
it's an effort for me. It's like a choice.
it is hard.
Liar, Liar. I remember that movie.
Oh, yeah.
I actually just referred to that because somebody, like, she couldn't talk. She was trying to call her husband her knight in shining armor, and she was like, blah, 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 and I was like, is that a lie? Like, why can't you say it right now?
Oh, dang.
Doc says cool is great too.
Any other questions that are not guitar related? You can put them in there. Maybe we'll try to find them.
Curtis Chavez says, do you want to hear the most annoying sounds in the world?
Oh my God.
Give a toddler a candy bar and some drumsticks.
That's so fun. That's the funniest. That's probably one of the funniest movies ever, is Dumb and Dumber. I love that movie. But it was dumb, though. It's like the dumbest, funniest dumb movie?
I don't know. I don't do dumb well.
You don't.
I don't do dumb well.
She
Anthony
does not.
Rosales says it's $5 there. I don't know where he is either.
Sounds very California-y. Or Southern Arizona, or something like that.
Solano Speed Shop says, Dylan, my 8-year-old just told me she wants to go see Supercross. I was pretty floored. I think we'll hit Anaheim too. She's going to lose her mind seeing them in person. That sounds so fun.
Yeah, that's really neat, man. We took the kids a couple times to see Atlanta Supercross.
Yep.
Here. We took them to see Monster Jam. We took them to see...
Who's the trick people?
Nitro Circus.
Yeah.
Yep. It's them. Travis wasn't there, but everybody else was.
Scott Dreyfus says Saturday is the cheapest.
That's good to know.
Very interesting. GRB Aquatic says it's $2 per liter in Australia. That's like $10 a gallon.
Dang.
Anthony Rosales says $6 for premium. Now they're talking about the Minions movie.
Now, the Minions movie is bomb. But that's because we have kids.
Yeah, we saw it with kids.
Yeah. When you watch, it changes it when you're watching a kid movie with kids, because half the thing is how funny they think it is, and how funny they think it is on the way home, and how much they talk about it.
And, okay, so it was like extra funny for me too, because at that time, that is what the hospital I worked at was called.
Mm-hmm.
And the dude that was running the hospital
Was called what?
at the time grew.
Oh, that's right.
So, and the guy that was running the hospital at the time, like, nobody liked, and he was like this super grouchy dude. So then it was like grew, and so it was like extra funny. I don't know.
That's
funny.
funny.
Pretty dumb, but
That is funny.
it was appropriate at the time.
That is funny. Somebody sending you pictures?
I was just saying
California.
that. He must have busted me.
Oh my god.
My brain works totally in song lyrics, y'all. All day long. All day long.
I just got a text from Guns and Guitars, Dan Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I totally dropped the ball on this. Do you still want to make some pickups for the live stream community build that I started back in August? I was wondering...
I was wondering what happened with that, too.
What happened about that? And I actually commented on a post in one of his forums today. Guns and Guitars is... Dan Thompson's a pretty cool dude.
Yeah. Rosales is in Bakersfield, California.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Anyway, so apparently we're going to do some collaboration with Guns and Guitars, so that'll be cool. That'd be pretty neat.
Now we're just talking about... Solano Speed Shop says, did I understand correctly you used to work with Yamaha Corporate?
So I never directly worked with Yamaha Corporate. We had a company that designed dirt bike parts. We specialized in... This was in the time when they're starting to put emissions on dirt bikes, and so we were coming out with...
Lisa Marie Presley died too. We just saw that
she did die?
Mm-hmm. That's what they're saying. And they were saying Jeff Beck earlier, sorry. I mean, I knew you probably didn't want to go there.
Yeah, there's only so many times you can talk about that. I mean, it's been in every friggin' timeline on every... Yep. She did, huh?
Yep. 54.
Heart attack.
Some kind of heart.
Some kind of heart thing. Yeah. Wow.
That is sad.
Not supposed to outlive your kids, right?
I know.
Because isn't her mom still alive?
Yeah. Oh, hang on. I gotta do my job. Anthony Rosales, thank you for the super chat. Sorry, got a guitar question. Kind of.
No worries.
Wanted to ask about the tortoise pickguard material situation.
It showed up today.
Ooh.
It is in that box right there.
Situation.
I haven't even... I opened the box and I was like, ooh, his pickguard is in there.
Oh, that's him?
Yeah. And I think I stole your P90 for somebody else. So I need to wind another one tomorrow. We're winding like 15 P90s tomorrow and Saturday. So, but your telly pickup or your strap pickups are right there. And so I'm going to actually build up that pickguard tomorrow and we're going to put the P90 in it. So we have that one and another pickguard will be shipping probably Monday, Tuesday. So, yeah.
Solano
Super
Speed Shot
cool.
said, I shot their corporate meeting in Phoenix in 2016. Was wondering if you might have been there. That was way after.
That was way after. So I was doing dirt bike stuff until 2008, 9, 2009, because I sold 3D suspension. So I had a suspension company. Before that, we specialized in airflow and carburation. So when anything fluid, so also suspension stuff. But we were doing kits for taking emissions off of dirt bikes because they were making 50 state. They were making California legal bikes 50 state at that time, and so we were doing that. And my connection to Yamaha was I was really good friends with the Southwest Yamaha sales manager guy, and so I could just call him and be like, "Hey, I need X, Y, Z, usually YZF, or YFZ, whatever I wanted," and he would just get it for me. So I never worked with corporate, but we had some stuff happening. Yep. That was fun times. Until I got hurt. Then it wasn't fun anymore.
Fanchink Guitar says, seems like Alan Jackson dies at least once a month. I don't know where that goes, but you do that to me all the time. Like, wherever that comes, you see it.
No, I'll tell you why. Because I got some spam moron in my Facebook group who posts that stuff all the time. And I constantly have to go in there and block him.
That might be where Ivan sees it too.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how many times you've told me Alan Jackson died.
In our Facebook group, today it wasn't Alan Jackson, it was somebody else. I don't remember who. It was
I've seen Alan Jackson in concert.
No, I'll tell you who it was. It was plays for the Eagles now. We've met him a bunch of times. Plays a little Walter tube amp. Anyway, Vince Gill. Yeah, today was Vince Gill.
You lost me at Eagles. I forget about that every time.
Yeah, because he plays with the Eagles now.
I mean, I'd have done better if you just said like Amy Grant or something.
Sorry. Yeah. No, I think Little Walter, because that's how I met him.
The Humble Hillbilly. Do y'all enjoy hiking and camping in your free time?
We enjoy hiking is an interesting word.
It's very relative to the person you're talking to, I
think. What I say is, if I have to hike somewhere, my truck's not cool enough. I like to drive there and then walk around. So that's my thing. And so we do that a lot. Well, we did. That's why I want to get a Lexus and start four-wheeling again. But we also have a little van. We have a Class B motorhome RV thing. And so we travel a lot. So camping is relative too, because we're pretty bougie about that.
Stay at campground.
But we also, and we boondock too. And we do a lot of national park stuff. And we do a lot of stuff like that. But after living in a motorhome for 2 years, I think we don't really have a desire to like get a rooftop tent and stay in the middle of nowhere with no internet. And
well, I can't. We have to work.
We have jobs.
Yeah. I need the internet and I don't want to have to work harder than.
Because free time is also a loose term too. Because we don't have conventional schedules. Like we don't work 8 to 5 Monday through Friday and then have from 5 p.m. on Friday till Monday to do something fun on a particular part of the weekend. Her job is such that we can take time off whenever her schedule allows for it, and she can schedule it in. And mine is basically based on how busy we are with pickup stuff.
And he's always still making videos.
And I'm always still making videos. That never stops. And when we travel, typically what we've been doing is traveling for work. So like I got to go to Denver for pickup winding classes, and we got to go to Nashville for pickup winding classes, which I'm still working on. We need to go to Atlanta this year. We probably got to go to California for NAMM. And so we'll use the van and we will do things that sprout off of those things. And so it's never like a travel and hike in your free time. It's always like a make it part of our all the time life, I guess.
And find cool stuff to take pictures.
Yeah, because we're both, photography is a huge deal.
Doug Santinello says, did you ever hear about Pops Yoshimura? I had a bunch of his parts on my first motorcycle.
Oh, yeah. I had Yosh stuff. Yosh was big with Suzuki, but I never had it. Well, actually, I had a Yoshimura pipe on... I had the very first fuel-injected four-wheeler in the United States. Race quad, and we were doing some stuff with that, and I had a Yosh pipe on it.
The Panda. Oh, that is a guitar question. Just kidding.
Super chat or nothing on guitar questions after 9 o'clock.
Just kidding.
We're holding to it too.
I almost messed up. Everybody's like, Vince Gill, Vince Gill. I'm just scrolling to catch up because I didn't want to.
Because of all the Vince Gills.
Doc Stiltonen wants to know, any plans for any European excursions? I haven't even seen the whole country yet. Like, not the way we're traveling now. I guess we've seen the whole country, but it's hard because we have to keep working.
Yeah, it's hard because we have to keep working, and it's
he has less freedom than me, by the way.
Yeah. You guys really keep me to a schedule here, I'm telling you what. Well, but if you
don't, like, people don't know how that's how that works, right?
Right.
Like, if you can't stop, like, consistency is part of it. So, yeah, you'd hate to be on a trip of a lifetime and then your income stops because you paused.
That's what happens. So if a video does good on a Monday, I have to follow it up. If I don't follow it up, and if I don't stick with my schedule, then the watch time drops off. And here's the thing about it. I don't actually make money. I mean, I do. But I don't. My living doesn't come from YouTube. My living comes from people that like what we do and then buy our pickups. We make pickups. That's my real job. And so if we stop, pickup sales stop. If I miss 1 week of videos, it's 6 weeks for me to rebound from that financially, like volume wise, and like we're not selling anything. So if I take a week off and don't make any videos, it's bad. So we have to constantly keep that up. And it is, this, I will tell you right now. So the Monday video is 8 to 10 hours of production. The Tuesday podcast is 2 hours. The Wednesday is 3 to 4, typically. The Thursday is 3 to 4 with research and questions and all the stuff that goes with it outside of what you see. And then if we shoot a video on Friday, that's another 7 or 8 hours. Plus, we have to make 200 pickups a month. Plus have a life. Plus, she works a 40-hour work week. Plus, we have all kinds of other family and other commitments. So we're never stopping. We do not stop.
Did you stop? You didn't say... Oh, you did say you released merch today. Mm-hmm. I posted a new...
You posted a new shirt on...
Shirt today. And...
On DylanandLeslie.com.
Yep. And there's somebody wanted that metal cat hoodie.
Oh,
and
So
the
Metal.
Hoodie is up too.
The So Metal hoodie is up
Yes.
on DylanandLeslie.com.
Yes.
So, and then that's not counting the driving in the car 20 minutes or on our way to grocery shopping. What do you think we should do about such and such? Should we release a new pickup in July? Should we blah, blah, blah? After we get done with this, we might be winding down.
I think we're up till midnight every night.
Every night. It is. And that's the way.
I'm so tired, by the way.
I know. People ask, like, I think, and that's the thing about people who are trying to make a living with their own business. How do you do it? You get up earlier and you stay up later. That's how you do it. And you don't stop. You can't stop. We've been doing this for 10 years this way. But it's what you have to do. I do not enjoy it.
Right.
And I'm not saying, like today I had a really bad headache. And I'm not saying that I didn't from 2 to 4 o'clock lay on the couch and veg out and watch Netflix for a couple of hours in the middle of the day so that I knew that I would have the emotional gas and be able to enjoy hanging out with you guys tonight. Otherwise, if I flipped it around the other way, I'd be so exhausted by now that I couldn't really do this and give it my all. So there's this whole kind of like managing, plus I have chronic pain. So, you're just managing everything to get it all done. I don't know where that tangent came from, but talking about vacation time and weekends and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just all kind of one mush.
Yeah, and Rob F. was like, I guess you're not a backpacker.
No, I can't be a backpacker. I used to be. When I was a kid, I used to be. I'd go for 4 or 5 days at a time.
Tent camp when I was a kid, but I don't want to do it anymore. It's hot here.
It is.
Alan Pettibone says, we have a saying in Montana about hiking. You don't have to be able to outrun a bear, just your hiking partner. And Scott Dreyfus, he was like, hike? Is someone chasing us? Timothy Potter says, I hiked in the Army and in the Boy Scouts. I'm grown up now and work indoors.
I mean, yeah.
Doc Stilton wants to know Nashville dates.
Working on it. What it is I had to wait to find out some other stuff to figure out where I can fit it in. We have a trip every month this year. So I have to figure it out. It's really challenging.
Solano Speed Shop says, let me know when you get back into four-wheeling. I'll introduce you to my friend over at Four Wheel Parts. He runs their R&D, and I bet you two would have some fun chats.
That would be interesting.
Jim Woodard said, I just turned down a 9-to-5 Monday through Friday in the office job. Not worth it. I can work from wherever I have internet and slow times and breaks. I just play my guitars.
Yep.
That's nice. I-50mm says, anyone else experiencing the egg shortage at the supermarkets? Not guitar related, right? I don't know anything about eggs.
Yeah, we don't eat eggs, so I don't know. But I have seen people talk about them be very expensive.
Yeah, I've seen like Mob...
Like $9.50
Al
a
Pacino,
gallon.
and they like have stacks of eggs. Like, so I don't know like what's happening.
It's like the toilet paper phenomena of 2020.
But apparently they're saying there's a shortage. But I thought they were just expensive. But maybe there is also a shortage. I don't know.
Chickens ain't putting out or what?
I don't know.
I mean, isn't that sort of a, hey, chicken? Like, it's not really a... There's probably more to that than the toilet paper thing.
I don't know. I really don't know. 331B says, do you have a photography website? I don't know if I would call it a photography website.
So
we are working on building our
portfolio and our way to share that with you.
It exists. You will see a few, but I have to organize our pictures so that I can then move them over.
10,000 of them and pick what we are going to.
And have I started that process? Nope.
Yeah. So DylanandLeslie.com has a few things, but it's not organized yet.
The site is organized. It's just not complete.
Yeah. It's going to continue to evolve. Watch that space. You'll see. It's going to continue to evolve.
It is what I want it to be. Period. But there will be more.
Yeah. And when she thinks of a random t-shirt design that doesn't have anything to do with Dylan Talks Tone, we put it there. That kind of stuff, plus all of our photography stuff, and there's gonna be an off-topic, like not guitar topic, blog and that kind of stuff over there. It's just we're trying to roll it out and make it good.
The Panda says, what camera and lens do you like to use the most for your photography? Both of you.
Leslie likes to use, that body. So I have two bodies. That's a Canon EOS R right there, which is the R mount mirrorless. And then the lens that she likes to use the most is the 100mm Canon macro L glass, because you shoot macro 99% of the time, even when she shoots portraits. And then my favorite body, I have a Canon EOS R6, which is over there, but I actually use the 15 to 35 that we're shooting on right now. This is my favorite lens I've ever had. And then we also have a 150 to 600 mil zoom that we really like. Which is
real fun.
Yeah,
it's just heavy.
It's really heavy. It's really fun though. And then probably for stills too, we have a couple of drones. And I use my drones more for stills than I do for, because my drones shoot raw, and so we use those more. I'm in the process. If you know anybody that wants to buy a camera body, I will tell you, if you know anybody that wants to buy a camera body, I'm going to sell this EOS R that we're shooting on right now and buy another R6 because they just came out with the R6 Mark II. And so we're probably going to get that and then have two R6s. Because I wanted to have image stabilization with the macro lens. So.
So that was the person asked earlier about our photography page, and Alan Pettibone said, "Are you asking about Dylan's OnlyFans page?" Jason Albert, Dylan, did you ever have a butterfly knife?
She has one.
It's not a real knife though.
It's a trainer.
Yeah. Charles Wallace says, "Turning Green Acres Off and Andy Griffin On."
Oh my goodness.
Now that song's stuck in my head. Thanks a lot. The Humble Hillbilly says, "Your life sounds pretty sick. Can I ride on your back bumper to Nam?" Solano Speed Shop does 24 to 70 f2.8, 700 to 200 f2.8, and 400 millimeter 2.8.
Nice. I have a 24 to 105 also, but I don't use it very often.
Charles Wallace says, "Most people do not realize the sacrifice people have to make. I enjoy hanging out with you guys." Thank you,
Thanks, Charles. It's a lot of work.
The Money Making Mentor. "I just found your YouTube channel and you really go into the detail on subjects. Thanks for that."
Thanks, man. Sounds like I need him. His name is Money Making Mentor.
Right.
As long as he's not a crypto guy. I'm kind of out on that now.
Doug Santinello said, "Dylan and I wish we could be backpackers, but broken spines kind of screw us."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't do it. I can't carry the weight anymore. I can't walk.
They said... So Rusty Fender says eggs are like $8 a pack. They were $4. Scott Dreyfus says eggs are 4 times right now, and they're buying from a farm. Avian flu is causing the problem, is what Alan Pettibone says.
So it is a chicken thing.
Had no idea.
Interesting.
Yeah, bird flu.
Huh.
Sorry, I am so behind. I'm trying to catch up. Yeah, Charles Wallace said government destroyed a bunch of chickens because of bird flu.
Wow.
How come that's not on the news? I don't know.
That's a lot of feathers flying. Wonder if they made pillows out of them.
Chicken feathers?
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
What would you make out of chicken feathers?
People are talking about organizing photos. We are using
Smug Mug
and Printique.
Yep.
Yeah.
You'll be able to order prints and
yeah.
canvas prints and that
which we could do all that through Smug Mug, but it wouldn't be on our website. So yeah. Printique allows me, if you go look at the shop on the page, like everything's together, and I just like that one central location. But we're using Smug Mug for organization because it did what we needed. It takes RAWs, and I've met those people, and I really like them.
Oh,
customer service
job.
is important to me, and I've met the people that run that. So I know they already have the same philosophy as me. So because of where I met them. Yeah. Let's see. Random t-shirt design is a great idea for a t-shirt, is what Doc says.
That is a great idea.
I have in my so I have like a they're called stacks in Procreate, but basically I have a folder of ideas. So I still have like the no malarkey and all that in there.
Do you?
I haven't done anything.
Honestly, my favorite t-shirt I own right now, well, two. The one is the You're on Native Land t-shirt, obviously. And the other one is This Shirt is Stupid. The reason I love This Shirt is Stupid is because I'll be literally walking down the street and people will just start laughing. It like makes people smile. And I'm like, what are you,
Yeah.
and I forget that I'm wearing this shirt.
That used to happen. Remember the and shirts we had?
Yes. And with a question mark.
But the thing is, like, you can take that however you want. And so people read it really sarcastically.
Mm-hmm.
So then it would be like a stranger walking by me and they'd be like, and I'm like, why are you being a jerk? But they were just reading my shirt, like trying to be funny.
Yeah. No,
anyway.
This Shirt is Stupid is great because you'll be like, I don't know, at a convenience store getting some water out of the cooler or something, and somebody will stand in there and they'll just look at you and they'll just kind of laugh. And like, I'm glad because it makes people, I don't know what they were thinking about or what they were stressed out about or whatever, but when they see the shirt and they laugh, it's worth it, I think it's great.
Jim Woodard said he might be interested. He said it in humongous letters. He's like screaming at you. And then he clarified. He said the camera, not the OnlyFans page.
Oh, okay. Shoot me a message on it. I'll hook you up. Or with a lens, too. I can sort you out with a lens. And you would be able to shoot all of your YouTube stuff with it.
Flu has eggs up 48%. John OJF said we'll be painting potatoes for Easter.
My God. I didn't even think about that. I have some shotgun mics sitting around here too for sale too. Because I'm assuming he's going to be podcasting and stuff like this.
So I think the pandas who asked you about your gear, he says, very nice. Currently I use a first gen A7S and bounce between a film Nikon 51.2, Sony 35-8, and an old 70mm macro.
Oh, neat, man. I actually, so before these cameras, I was shooting on a APS-C Sony, and my choice was, do I want to go all in on Canon? Because once you buy glass, like this lens and that lens were not cheap, and once you go in on glass, like good Canon glass, you got to be in on that body, that glass for 5, 8, 10 years. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of a thing. And so I was like, am I going to go Sony and get an A7 III or an A7 IV? Or am I going to go in on this new, because I knew they just came out with the RF when the EOS R came out. Am I going to go down that road? And I decided to go Canon. And I'm really proud of it. I like this color. I like how this looks, like with this lighting and everything. I'm just really happy with it. Because that was video first and then stills.
Yeah. Doc says, I'm still waiting on the Malarkey and Shenanigans poker chip for my Gibsons.
Now that I have a Gibson, and I was thinking about that the other day, I did not put this in the video either. My poker chip is crooked.
What?
I think it's crooked.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Doug Santaniello says, we buy our eggs from local friends who have chickens. I really don't care to eat eggs, but the ones we get are awesome. I thought you were going to get Martha some chickens. What happened?
Yeah.
I thought you were raising chickens, Doug.
He was going to have a whole farm down
Yeah.
there.
What's going on?
Because he's Florida man now.
He's Florida man. That is funny.
He's always been Florida man, but not that kind of Florida man.
Jim Woodard said, Dylan talks tone. I will contact you on the side.
Okay, awesome.
Let's see. Solano Speed Shop said, I'm stuck with a 1DX and a couple lenses.
There's nothing wrong with a 1DX, dude. That's a great camera. It still is a great camera. It's just huge. And it doesn't shoot video very well. But for stills, it's a great camera. That's what Jason has. Yeah, our friend has one of those. Awesome.
Cool.
Are we caught up?
Mas pesos mas peras says, Dylan, give me all your guitars.
No.
Random.
I am just now, we were talking about this the other day, me and her. With the Les Paul purchase, I feel like I need a really good Strat that I can play in videos. So I have a Strat, but it's my kind of my heirloom family Strat. but to use in videos all the time, I would like to have a really good Strat, and I would like to have one really good Telly. And then I think I have the core of what I've always wanted to have, like collection-wise. It's kind of cool. It's kind of finally kind of there. And there's some stuff that, I mean, I would probably sell, but I'm keeping all of it right now. Even my MGK guitar.
Why are we talking about guitars?
Really love that thing. I don't know.
Why are we talking about guitars?
We're not supposed to.
Oh, Doug has dogs. I would have to train my dogs not to kill the chickens. Then I'm already worn out.
That's right. He has dogs. I forgot about the dogs. Because that's a new thing.
Doc says I have some 35mm Minoltas XE5 3000S with a bag of lenses, 47mm WA, 50mm, and 300mm.
That's cool. This is my main camera.
The Humble Hillbilly says, I'm technology dumb. I don't have a camera or computer. Just do everything with an iPhone 11 Pro Max. I still like.
There's a lot of people that do.
My phone too.
So this is my main shooting setup that I use every day to make most all videos. This is a EOS R6. Not this lens. The lens that I use every day is this one. Here's why I like this lens. This is a 35mm lens, so it gets this tight.
Woo!
And it's a 15mm lens on the other side, and it gets that loose. And what I like about it is it stays at f2.8 the entire time, no matter where you are. And then this is a 100mm macro prime. And then this is a Sennheiser MK400 shotgun mic that is phenomenally good. If you watched the news yesterday, you heard this microphone. If you watched the video tomorrow, you heard this microphone. Actually, the news yesterday, you heard that microphone. That's a Rode NTG shotgun. I'm so microphone junky. I have like 4 different shotgun mics right now. And I actually almost ordered a 5th, but I canceled it because I thought it was a little excessive. Probably.
Scott Dreyfus says, I snagged a new, how do you say that? CRKT Pilar.
Oh, Pilar. Yeah, that's a great knife.
For new EDC. I didn't know he was into EDC.
That's a great knife, man. Those are neat. And Knife Center today just came out with, so I watched the Knife Center new, well, I watch every video they make. But they just came out with like micarta scales for that are really cool. I think it's not Knife Center. It's probably Flytanium or somebody. But they make a micarta scale for that knife now. It's really cool. That's not an expensive knife either. That's a really cool knife too. I like it.
Sean McMillan said, some people have a swear jar. Do we need a guitar jar for after 9 p.m.? Yeah, that's what we call super chat.
That's what we call super chats.
We're going to make Dylan
See, there's one right
super
there.
chat.
Every time I mention guitar, I have to say super chat. Is that
you
what
have to put in a super chat.
That's the way it goes.
Super chat from Devin Sinderwitz. Thank you for the super chat, Devin. Dylan, I have a Squier Telly that was redone and set up by a luthier, but I get no sustain in my high E string, and same for my B string. Any ideas, please?
Does it have 3 saddles? Because there might be something wrong with that saddle. That's what I would go with. Or the nut. That's probably the problem. Those 2 things are probably the problem. The saddle or the nut. I would take it back to that guy and tell him it's not working. That's what I would do.
Cool.
Thank you for the super chat.
Yeah. All right.
Pretty caught up?
I am caught up.
Yeah, and it's pretty close to 10, so that's pretty cool. You guys have been super fun. Please check out the video tomorrow. Check out the links in the description of this video. To directly support the channel, you can go to Dylan Talks Tone and buy some pickups, because that's what we do. And, yeah. I'm tired.
Curtis Chavez says, man, I think tonight was a record for super chats. Excellent all. It was, so it is fun when there's a lot of interactivity like that.
Yeah, and not just super chats, just commenting.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do appreciate the super chats because it makes
Oh, you just
Yeah.
alerted people they didn't know Knife Center. There's like Sports Center for knife guys.
Dude, Knife Center rules.
Yeah.
I have spent a lot of money at Knife Center. I really like them a lot. I buy some stuff from Blade HQ too, but I like Knife Center's content because the guy's real good about.
Because he has exceptionally large hands. That's why he likes them.
No, he has not exceptionally.
What does he say?
He says.
It's creepy every time.
He says something about his. He says something about his sort of large hands. It's not exceptionally large though. It's
creepy.
I can't remember what he said. Anyway, it's funny. It's creepy. But he gets when he introduces the new knives every week. He talks about the steel and the features of the scales and the length and everything. It's everything you need to know, about that knife. And he has cost me a lot of money because he'll be like, "This came out," and I will literally be with my. Because it comes out at like 3:00 on Thursday. And so I will literally be there with my phone or my computer and I'll be watching it and be like, no, I don't care about that one. No, I don't care about that one. Ooh, I care about that one. And I'll go and see if they have it in stock and how much it is. And I'll literally sit there and do that. Because I'm a bit of a junkie about it.
Super chat from Doug Santinello. Thank you, Doug. He says, close with a super chat. I think that's a great idea.
That's a great idea. We will see you tomorrow at noon.
Thanks, y'all.
With a Les Paul video that some of you might like.